I recently heard somebody on the radio talk about you are what you eat. I mean, we've all heard that before. But this man was going a little deeper in saying that whatever you eat is your blood. That is your bloodstream. Whatever you put into your mouth becomes a bloodstream that is nurturing your brain, your bones. So, I thought that was good that he was talking about on a physical level, but there's another dimension to it. Whatever you eat, you have to be careful because psychically and spiritually, it can affect you. So that's why you couldn't pay me to eat the food that I saw on a reality cooking show. I hadn't watched TV in years. I didn't have a TV. But I was staying with someone recently and there was one in my room and I turned it on and it had something to do with hell. Hell's Kitchen or House of Hell. Anyway, these people were vying for like a big prize. And while they're cooking, they're being berated, rushed, stressed. It's just too much negativity while they're handling food. You could not pay me to eat that food and go into my molecular structure, especially when I've seen it. You know, that's one of the things that can happen when you go into, when you eat out, you know, when you go through one of these drive-throughs, or even if you go into what is called fine dining. You don't know what the people were talking about or what kind of energies people were dealing with, you know, when they were preparing your food. I mean, it sounds trite, and you know, who needs another something to worry about when they eat out? But for example, a lot of things, my work began to slow down a few years ago, and so I had to start cooking more at home because it was cheaper for me. And I did that for maybe, after about 6 months, when I ate out, you know, something cheap, I remember it was one of those chicken places I went to, and I bit into the chicken, and I got an instant headache, the first bite. And the headache lasted, I want to say close to 24 hours because I was hoping that it would go away so I wouldn't have to take anything for it. And I was like, wow, but I used to eat this food all the time. But my body had gotten so adjusted to mystical preparation or eating from my own hand until it could tell the difference when I ate out. And it wasn't just that cheap place. And the only reason I did this is because I had been out with a friend all day helping her do something. And it was, I had food at home to prepare, but I was getting a little edgy because I hadn't eaten all day. And I thought, well, I'll just go here today and pick up something, and because I'm not going to last until I go home and, you know, prepare something. And yeah, I got a bad headache. And another time, things did improve for me financially for several weeks, and I started going back out to eat because the type of work that I was doing at that time, I had to sleep when I wasn't working, you know, just so that I wouldn't lose energy and be fatigued because I was doing some night work. So, just before I would go into work, I would stop by, you know, restaurants that I used to frequent most of my adult life, and these are not dives. If I call the names of them, you know, you would know that these are, you know, not the highest end. I mean, it wasn't the Cirque or per se in New York. It wasn't anything like that. But but anyway, after doing this for 5 or 6 weeks, I actually felt toxic. And I remember remarking to my clients that, you know, I feel so toxic. You know, I'm not eating like I normally eat. I'm eating out a lot. And so finally I had to go on a watermelon fast to cleanse. I was hyper. I was a little more hyper than I was when I didn't have the money to eat out. I was in a better frame of mind by cooking than I was when I, all of a sudden was flush with cash and was going back to my old habits. And I thought it's just too much energy in the food that I'm eating when my body had gotten acclimated to my energy, and I was very focused and very balanced when I went about eating. Another thing that happened to me was during the time, this period of slow income lasted for some years, like about 3 years. I remember putting so much energy into the food, blessings, whatever you want to call it, until I actually started losing weight. And I'm a plus size because I love food. And I actually lost weight, went down a dress size. It's like a 1X, I think it was. And it was going okay for several weeks until I told someone what I was doing. And then I don't know, shortly after that, I just kind of got away from doing it so intensely. But I'm just telling you, that's the power of having a mystical meal. Okay, peace out till the next time.